Retention is one that we wanted to deep dive on. Of course, it is quite a clear focus for everybody being number one. And it's more important, but it's also getting more difficult. What we've seen is the call out of the slides, but about half of the people responding to this saying it's actually getting harder than prior years. And what we're seeing around retention is the piece around offering a competitive salary and benefits package versus competitors within your space being the top reason for the difficulty and challenge that you're seeing, which is really interesting. It's topped by quite a proportion, as in almost 18% higher at 45% than the secondary reason around the retention challenges that we're seeing. And what that alludes to for me is almost that hygiene factor is really difficult to get right now. It's not just the salary, though, it's the benefits piece. And again, that has links into well-being, doesn't it, when we talk about benefits? Because now, if you come and speak to people about benefits, what they expect in terms of that employee offer to them is that I can have a hybrid working arrangement. The benefits package that you're offering me, do I have access to this in terms of healthcare, my retirement plan, can I opt in for X, Y, and Z? So I think people are reading more, they're seeing benefits more widely and what the best employers and top employers can achieve. So they are asking for more, understandably.
I think just with a challenge of headcap, I think one of the things I always think about is which sectors have always had this problem in terms of shortage of really good people.
Yeah.
And what have they done to respond? Can we learn from them? And I think care is a really good example. We were lucky enough to work with some amazing care organisations where, because of the economics of their marketplace, and particularly if they're reliant on the public sector funding, there's a limit to how much physically and economically they can pay their caregivers as a ceiling.
Yeah.
If they overshoot that, the business isn't sustainable. And it's trying to get how can we, well, we can offer pay rises, but you can't always offer the most. If you're competing against certain supermarket chains or others where everyone's different. So as a HR leader, how can you create that culture and these softer areas where you may not be able to compete head to head just on pay, as much as you can do, but compete on culture? How do you convey your employer brands? As well within some of those constraints.
Yeah, I think sometimes it becomes a bit of a joking tit for tat, and it's almost the grass isn't always greener, and just because you get £60 more over the road doesn't mean it's worthwhile. Sometimes people have to go through those experiences to realise how good it is in terms of your wider offer and the experience that they have with you. Secondary reason then is meeting employees' expectations in terms of career development. And I think we've spoken a lot about this, and there was a recent webinar on generational differences. But generations have quite different expectations around what they'll receive in terms of their career development and what they want to achieve within different timeframes. I think we're now grappling in between completely different expectation sets, where we've got older generations that are happy with jobs for life, employers for life, and wanting to grow their own skills and quite content. But then the millennials and the next generation coming in terms of Y, Z, Alpha even coming up through the ranks that won't want to stay in the same role any longer than realistically for 2 years. So how can we give them those development points to enable them to stay for longer and see a pathway? Then the following reasons, again, it's quite a significant drop to the following reasons, but buy-in to the culture, flexible working arrangements has dropped quite significantly, lack of training and upskilling opportunities, and then involuntary turnover. Nothing there.